Hello everyone and welcome to the 44th episode of the Blind Pinterest Challenge, the series where I recreate crafts and DIY projects from Pinterest without any instructions, because I want to redeem myself from the last episode. The last episode I did terrible. I made some very awful choices. So we have expectation and reality. Oh my god, look at that craftsmanship. So this episode, I need to make some good stuff, please. Fingers crossed. So I think the first thing I want to make is quite an ironic thing to make, considering what the series is called, and I fancy making a blindfold. There's these cute ones, and I've never made a blindfold before, so I have no idea what I'm doing. But now that I've got my sewing machine, there's no excuses. I think if these are an easy thing to make, they would be the perfect thing to just kind of like whip out and sell, like on Etsy and stuff. Oh, and I could put frills on and all sorts. I don't think I'll struggle with this. In fact, I think I'm going to make a very nice blindfold. I'm kind of excited about that one. It might replace this one. I might instead, in future seasons of the Blind Pinterest Challenge, just start making my own. Oh, how fun would that be?
Not very.
I think the second thing I want to make, although you can't really see what this is, the image is cut off, but it looks like there's a painted heart shape kind of thing within a glass case. And I'm going to obviously have to look online and see if I can find these glass hangable frames. I'm not going to make one of them myself at all. And then obviously just paint like a nice picture inside. I think that's a really cute idea. I don't think I can go wrong with that. Well, never say never. I also absolutely love this, and it's a paint palette headpiece, but using pom-poms as the actual blobs of paint. And I've never made a fascinator like this before, so I have no idea how it's actually going to stay on my head. But I just think it's very whimsical, isn't it? And because the others seem relatively easy, I thought I would challenge myself a little bit and try and make this resin daisy light thing. This could be fine. This could go absolutely perfectly well, or it could go really bad, because I have to obviously figure out the stand and all that kind of other stuff. There's lots of different components that could go wrong, so will it go wrong? Who knows? We'll find out. And just like that, I'm back. And also I've got a new hat.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Psyduck. How cute is that? Oh my god, I'm rhyming so much. Love it. Look, it's got like little hairs on. Thought I'd treat myself. I deserve it.
Because we're worth it.
And I thought we would start off on a low.
And so it begins again.
I know, devastating. But this is not my fault. I swear down, it's not my fault at all.
Oh, hell, I don't believe you.
But it's going to be the painted glass love heart kind of piece of art. And just like I said earlier in the video, I just bought this brass foldable encapsulated frame, which I thought looked very nice. And then I just got some acrylic paints in lots of different colours and decided to paint a heart motif on the surface of the glass. And obviously with something like this, you want to do it in layers so you can get like lots of bits of detail and stuff. So after I'd painted the first layer, I left that to dry. Then once it was dry, I decided to go in again and paint some more extra details and some more extra layers on top of this heart. And I was actually quite pleased with my painting skills. I thought this was looking really good and something I would happily hang on my wall. So I just put that to one side and let it fully dry. And at this point you might be saying, "And what's gone wrong? What's happened? Everything looked fine." Well, we have expectation and reality. And again, you might be thinking, oh, you know, I think you've done an alright job on that. It looks quite nice. It looks like a colourful heart on glass. And it does. I think it looks very nice. I'm very pleased with it. However, the other part of the glass that actually belongs to this snapped off. And then if we look at this, look at the craftsmanship on that. Look at the state of it. It is all, like, look, just peeling off. So shittily made. It's unreal.
How dare you?
I think these were quite expensive and they are absolutely shocking. They are so cheap and so shit. And the problem I have as well is with this one, obviously I've got the paint on there and that's great, but these loop things here, I know for a fact will snap off. I know it won't take a lot for this to entirely fall apart and smash into bits. And I rarely do this because I like people to make their own minds up on stuff and come to their own conclusion, make their own opinions and whatnot. But I'm going to put the listing on the screen now, and whatever you do, if you ever see them, do not buy them because they are so poorly made and you may as well get your money, get like that nice little wad of money and just like flush it down the toilet. Because that's basically what you'll do if you buy these, because they are absolutely atrocious. I've just realised I'm just in my Amazon account there. These are currently unavailable now. I wonder why. I really genuinely wonder why.
Sarcastic cow.
Yeah, so I bought a 2-pack of these because I thought the other one would come in handy at some point, which I'm never going to use because they're shocking. But these cost me £22.99. That's expensive for something that just falls apart. I wouldn't care though, that's nice, isn't it? That's a proper cute little, I don't know, just nice little heart. I was into it until everything just decided to fall apart. So I thought we'd move on to one that I haven't even started yet. Not really anyway. And that's the paint palette headpiece fascinator thing. And I don't really know how I'm gonna get this on my head. But I've got a plastic paint palette here. And the thing is, everything I've bought recently is proper shite. Like, you would look at that and be like, oh, that looks lovely. It's great. It's perfect for what it is. Took me ages to find a plastic palette in this shape, by the way. And then you look at the back. Look at the state of that. It looks like it's been caught on fire. I don't know what happened to that, but that's the way it arrived. And this is the thing as well. Everything in the world seems to be getting more expensive, but the quality seems to be getting shitter. What is going on? First it was the glass frames, now it's the plastic palettes. What next? I'm in a bit of a mood today, aren't I?
I didn't notice.
It's because I just feel like I'm shitting my money away constantly. But anyway, oh, it's very dusty. I'll wipe it on my t-shirt. What I'm thinking is I'll get the pom-poms done and get them attached to here first before I deal with the fascinator part. Now, if you've been with the channel for a while, you might have seen one of my very detailed, very thorough pom-pom making tutorials on how to make a pom-pom without any tools, just your fingers. But if you're new here, I'm gonna show you.
Oh no, that's okay.
So basically, you're gonna get your yarn, you wanna cut one bit off, lay that nice and flat, perfect. Then you're gonna get your other yarn. Now, depending on how big your final pom-pom wants to be, you can use 1, 2, 3, 4 fingers, you could use a full fist.
You dirty slut.
Didn't mean that to sound that way, but you know, whatever you're into. I'm just going to use 3 fingers and I'm just going to wrap the yarn around here. And you want quite a lot of yarn on. You want it to be very dense and thick. And then once you're happy with that, just cut it off. And then you want to slide it off your fingers and try and keep it in that kind of shape. And then just put it on the center of this yarn you've previously cut out. Then we're going to take the 2 sides of the yarn and we're going to tie it in 1 knot down the center of kind of where we've looped this yarn around, with the hopes of splitting it in half, just like that. Perfect. And you want to keep that quite tight. And this is always the difficult part, because you need to tie this again and try and maintain the tension. And this is the point where you feel like you need 6 arms and 40 fingers, because it's just very fiddly. And then we're just gonna make a 2nd knot to secure that. Get nice and tight. Yes, perfect. And then just a 3rd one, just for shits and giggles. By the way, you can actually get pom-pom makers if you do struggle doing it this way. And then all we're gonna do is get our scissors around these loops and just cut. That's just gonna fray all of this out. Just be careful not to cut through this middle bit that's keeping everything together, otherwise it'll all fall apart. And then once you've got all your loops cut, obviously you could keep your pom-pom like that if you wanted to and have like a funky, shaggy, messy one. But for this, it requires it to be cut down. So you're just gonna give it a little bit of a haircut. Simple as that. Also, don't cut these 2 bits off, especially if you're going to attach them to something. These might come in handy. And there you go, a lovely little pom-pom. Easy peasy, super easy. And all you've used is your fingers and a pair of scissors, obviously. But like a professional, and I'm doing a little bit of a Blue Peter moment here.
Well, this is actually my favourite because it's the papier-mâché bit.
I hate my life.
Here are some I made earlier. Oh my god, look at that. All in different colours, and these are going to be our little paint blobs.
I hate my life.
So I think my next step is to get these pom-poms attached to this. And people might think, oh, like hot glue it to this. Which, yeah, it might work, but also it's not going to be as secure. I'm thinking of drilling holes and then just tying it down. I never trust myself with power tools, I don't know why. Oh, perfect. I was scared for no reason. I think it's just because I know what I'm like and how clumsy I am. And there will be one day I lose an eye. Or a finger, or just something will happen. Did I ever tell you about the time when I was in school and I was using a drill for a piece of metal? It was in like metal work or something. It was a class I absolutely hated because the teacher was a dick. And anyway, they were going on about health and safety, blah, blah, blah. And of course me, didn't listen at all, did I?
Obviously.
And I was using this drill that goes down into a piece of metal, and I wasn't paying attention, and I drilled through this piece of metal. The metal lifted up from the drill because I wasn't holding it, and also I didn't have goggles on, and it flicked a bit of metal and it hit us in the eye. And I tried to play it off really cool because I didn't want to get in trouble, so that happened. Another thing that happened,
Oh my god.
I think I've told you about this one before as well. When I was in science class, I thought it'd be a fantastic idea to put a thermometer in a Bunsen burner to see how high the liquid would go in the thermometer, and it went very high and then exploded in my hand. And I got a bit of glass in my hand. So if you're ever wondering about the health and safety aspect of me and what I do on the channel, maybe that might give you a bit of an insight into what I'm actually like.
Well, stop it!
I'm just curious. I just like to see what happens. And then obviously it ends up being a disaster. Believe it or not, I'm a lot more safer than I used to be. I know, it's surprising. I'll detach it while I'm going and then add the holes, just so I know where the holes need to be, because otherwise they'll just go wrong. I obviously want to keep it as tight as I can. Oh, am I bleeding? I'm already bleeding. How did that happen? Typical. I feel like I've been quite safe as well. Anyway, there we go. There's one attached. Ah, great. Now I just need to do another 9. That's fine. So all my pom-poms are fully secured onto my little pallet. I think that's looking really good actually. And now I just need to figure out this fascinator bit. So for this, I've bought these little fascinator hat things. I don't fully understand what they are really. They just kind of look like boob inserts, don't they? Like something you would find in a bra. Shall we just hot glue it on and see what happens? I think that's my best bet. I don't understand how else it's done. I think it'll be secure enough with hot glue. And the paintbrush might just be able to support it a little bit more. I want a shitload of hot glue though. I like hot glue and I think hot glue is practical, but it can also be incredibly weak. So if I just pile it on, hopefully it'll stay in place. Oh, and then the pom-pom covers the glue as well. Fantastic. More hot glue. You're not going to see this anyway because it's the back, so I don't think it really matters. So I think that is fully secure. It doesn't feel too bad. I don't want to kind of pull it and stuff. I feel like this is a fascinator for photographing. I don't think it's something that you wear out and about. And then to get this in my hair, I've bought these things. And these are just like little clippy clips. My hair's not particularly long and I've just had it cut so it's even shorter. But I'll see if I can get this on my head. Oh, I have to remove my cute Psyduck hat. How devastating. I'm going to go into the mirror and do this because I can't see what I'm doing. You know what? We'll have expectation. And reality. Oh my god, look at the yeah. I don't know, I feel like if I move my head at all, like that way or that way, it's gonna go. But I think I've done a very excellent job. I think I've done a really good job actually. I think it looks really cool. So I think in total this probably cost me about £20. I've got the palette, the fascinator and the little clips. I dread to think what the back looks like. I bet the back looks proper shit. But you're not gonna look at it at the back. You're gonna look at it at the front for photographing. Oh my god. So stylish. Oh, I feel like one of them. You know the ladies with the fruit on the head. I feel like one of them. So next up, I thought we would try and make the resin daisy lamp. And I started off with this square silicone mold and just added some dried pressed daisies into the mold. And then also some cute little string lights. And just kind of rearranged them and decided how I wanted them to look. And then I poured a small layer of epoxy resin over the daisies and over the lights. And just let that set. Once that was set, I did exactly the same thing. Added a few more daisies, added some more resin, tried to decide where I wanted things, and then again, let that set. And basically just repeated this process in about 4 layers, I think, of daisies, resin, lights, etc. to try and get it as 3D as I possibly could. Once that was all done and set, I just took it out of its mold. And now it was time to try and make the stand that this resin piece was going to actually fit on.
I know where this is going.
And I just got a lovely piece of wood. I cut that down to size, which was very difficult. My arms were like jelly afterwards. And then what I found difficult, in order to get like a cut within a piece of wood, I thought I would just be able to kind of chisel it out, but it was becoming really difficult to do that. And then I thought I could kind of saw it out, and that was really hard too. So I didn't fully understand, without the correct tools, how I could actually get this indent into the piece of wood. After a little bit of thinking and a little bit of kind of trying my best and not wanting to buy any more kind of tools or anything like that, and not being particularly great at woodwork, I decided I would give up.
There it is.
I don't feel like I was ever going to get there with it. My studio isn't equipped for specific wood making activities. What I could have done with really is like a plane to maybe like shave the wood off or something. I don't know. So we have expectation and reality. I think I've done a really good job. I think that's proper cute, isn't it? I'll turn the lights off actually so you can get the full effect. There, what do we think? I think that's really nice. Ah, it's lovely. Wouldn't this be nice on like your bedside table or something? It's just a shame I couldn't obviously figure out how to do the stand. And it's not the end of the world. I could always come back to this and try and figure something out, or even, I don't know, add like a frame and have it like wall mounted or something. There's lots of kind of different possibilities to do with this. There's very few bubbles too. I'm quite surprised. In total, I think this set me back about £8. I didn't need to buy any resin. I already had some in the studio. The pressed flowers were a little bit expensive. And then obviously I bought a little string of light pack things. In something like this too, you could add loads of different kinds of flowers. It doesn't have to be daisies. You could add some colour in there and make it your own. Clever little idea. I'm into it. Now it's time for the final craft. And I'm going to attempt to make the cute little frilly blindfold.
Honey, you've got a big storm coming.
So I've got myself a piece of scrap fabric here. I think this will look nice for a blindfold. Some little leaves. How cute. I feel like I'm just going to kind of eyeball it.
Here we go.
I know that's risky, but I don't know. I'm feeling alright today.
You fucking idiot, Rosalie!
Right, and then I'm thinking, turn them inside out, and let's just draw a rough shape of like a blindfold. I suppose if you were making these to sell, you would create like a template and have them all, you know, matchy and all exactly the same. But we'll do one first, and then we'll see if I want to get into the blindfold making business. Have lots of kinky and sexy clients.
Dildos before 10 a.m.
Now let's cut you out. At the end of the day, I'm feeling a certain way about sewing after the last episode of Sewing Machine Adventures. So the reason I'm being a little bit on the rough side is because me and sewing aren't getting along at the moment. And I don't know why, because all I do is pour my heart into sewing and it just rejects us. Yeah, that'll work. But before I sew this closed, I also want to add some frillies. And I bought this red kind of frilly stuff. Don't really know what you would call it. Let me just think. I want to sew this inside out. Probably just want this on this side, don't I? Yes.
No!
Wait there. This is where my mind starts to play games on us. I'm going inside out, then I flip it round. Would this need to go in here?
Yes!
No, I'm thinking this would just need to go on the outside of here, wouldn't it? The problem is sewing really gets my back up. Okay, it confuses us because it's I've said it many times before, it's the constant inside out, reverse, flip it round, etc. and it just stresses us. You would think I'd have figured it out by now, but I haven't. I feel like this is going to be a right little bitch to sew. At the end of the day, I think the original pin, theirs looked a little bit rough as well, I'm not going to lie, so I'm not too concerned. Do you reckon at this stage I need to attach not handles, what they're called, like strappy bits? Or do I do that at the end? I reckon I'd probably need that now. But then I'm sewing a frill and a strap at the same time, and that sounds very confusing. I might just try and put it on at the end. I've just remembered I'll need to keep one side open so I can actually stuff it. Is it going to be stuffed? Do we stuff it or not? What do you reckon? Is a blindfold stuffed? No, I don't think it is. I was just feeling my other one. I was going to pad it, but I don't think blindfolds. I suppose you could if you wanted to, but it doesn't need it, does it? And if I add stuffing, it's going to make it more complicated, so I'm all for an easier life, so I'm not going to bother stuffing it. Yes, I knew I had some elastic. That's thick. It's a very thick bit of elastic though. It's a bit chunky, but that's fine. Do you reckon if I sew that like that, how am I flipping this inside out? I'll still have to go around one bit and leave a bit open and then push it through, won't I? You know what, I'm going to add this on at the end because that's going to confuse us. Right, let's get my sewing machine. I'll get this sewn. I feel like I know what I'm doing. Oh, I don't know what I've done to that. And also my sewing machine's decided to de-thread itself. It got stuck and I don't know what happened. And I've also missed a big chunk. So this sewing's just going to be a little bit on the rough side, but are we surprised? We shouldn't be at this point. It's de-threaded itself again. Are you kidding? What are you playing at? It's just really struggling around this corner and I don't know why. Try again. I will keep trying. We will get this done today. You can either cooperate with this machine or I'll chuck you in the bin. Is it oh my god, what is my sewing machine doing? No! Every time I go to sew something, it's coming out. You never normally do this. Oh, if you could see this sewn up close, you'd be mortified. It looks like I've been chewing on the fabric. It's detached itself again. Oh, what's this? You know when you're losing your rag? I'm really losing my rag. It's just I don't understand why it keeps being an absolute arse face for. I tell you what, I'm just going to pull you through now and then we'll fix the other bits because I'm just getting really angry at it. Well, I've done that wrong, haven't I? Because the frills are on the inside. The frills aren't on the outside. I've sewn the frills on the inside of the blindfold. Of course they were going to go on the inside. What was I thinking? Why did I think they were going to magically appear on the outside? I've sewn them inside the blindfold. I think I just need to be left alone with my own thoughts. Why does me and sewing not get along? I just want to be good at sewing, that's all I want. And for some reason, I'm just not good at it. I'm in a defeatist mood at the moment too, so I don't really want to make a second one. Right, I tell you what, I'm going to get some more fabric cut, and I'm going to attempt to do a second one and put the frills on the outside instead of the inside this time. Okay, so did that bit of sewing go any better? No, it did not. You know what, it went better only because the last bit of sewing went really shockingly bad. It couldn't have got worse basically. So no matter what I did, it was going to be an improvement, but it's still been so bad. But anyway, we have expectation and reality, and you might be looking at this and think, oh, it looks lovely, and what you want about it doesn't. It's got holes in it, there's puckering, the sewing's not neat on it. It's just like, look at the state of this, look at that. Oh, what's that? Has my sewing machine been eating it? Like, what's going on? Some bits aren't even attached. It's got like a big hole there where none of the ribbon meets up. It's just not great. Is it a functioning blindfold? I assume so. Let's try it on. Okay, it works as a blindfold. The elastic could have been way tighter because it's just so loose on my face. But considering I've never made a blindfold before, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. At least I tried again, because honestly, I didn't want to. I really genuinely didn't want to try this again because I hated it. But how much did this hideous ugly blindfold cost us? About £1, because I've used like scrap bits of fabric and stuff. The only thing I needed to buy was this frilly stuff. I think I'm more upset because of the recent sewing machine adventures really put us in a bad mood, because at the end of that I was really angry with myself. It's almost like my sewing machine today was like, no. I was like, oh please, and it was like, no thanks. I was like, oh pretty please, and it was like, no, we're not sewing today. That's the thing that's bothered us about this. This should have been a really simple craft project, a really simple sewing project, and it's just completely thrown us off, and I don't know why. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this disaster of a blind Pinterest challenge episode, then make sure to give it a thumbs up. I've hated it, really genuinely. Well, to be fair, it hasn't been too bad till this last little section, and it's just decided to really piss us off. And I'll see you next week for a brand new video, and hopefully next week's gonna go just slightly better, just a smidge, please. I think I'm more frustrated because things have been going well recently and I haven't had that many fails, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm becoming a serious crafting channel after what, 7 years or something? I'm like, I can actually do things and show people how to do things. And then slowly it's just starting to dismantle and I'm becoming shit again. Anyway, I'm gonna go away and set fire to my sewing machine. You know what I need? I need to go into one of them anger therapy rooms after today. You know, where they just smash shit up. That's what I need. I want to smash a telly. That's all I want to do.